The text came at 9:47 a.m., exactly 3 hours and 13 minutes before I was supposed to walk down the aisle. We need to talk. Call me now. My sister Jessica. I stared at my phone, my stomach immediately knotting. It was my wedding day. My wedding day. Nothing good ever came from a text like that on a day like this. I was sitting in the bridal suite of the Millhouse Warehouse, a converted factory space in downtown Portland that Marcus and I had fallen in love with the moment we saw it. Exposed brick, soaring ceilings, strings of Edison bulbs that would glow like stars once evening fell. We'd spent 18 months planning this day. 18 months of choosing flowers and tasting cakes and seating charts and compromise. My best friend Zoe was steaming my dress in the corner. My makeup artist was setting up her station. Everything was perfect, on schedule, exactly as I'd dreamed. And then that text. Everything okay? Zoe asked, noticing my face. I don't know. I hit call. Jessica answered on the first ring. Finally. Where have you been? Getting ready for my wedding, I said, trying to keep my voice light. What's wrong? Are you okay? I need you to listen to me very carefully, Jessica said, her voice taking on that tone, the one she used when she expected immediate compliance. I'm having contractions. My heart jumped. Oh my God. Are you in labor? Do you need me to? They're not consistent yet. But they could be. My due date is today, Natalie. Today. The same day as your wedding. I knew this. Of course I knew this. We'd known for 9 months that Jessica's due date and my wedding day were the same. I'd offered multiple times to change the date. Jessica had insisted it would be fine, that first babies always come late, that I was being ridiculous for worrying. Okay, I said slowly. So what do you need? I need you to postpone the wedding. The words hit me like cold water. What? Mom and I talked about it this morning. If I go into labor, the whole family will need to be at the hospital. Nobody can miss the birth of Mom's first grandchild. So you need to call the venue and reschedule. I actually laughed, a sharp, disbelieving sound. Jessica, I can't reschedule. The ceremony is in 3 hours. We have 150 guests already traveling here. Some flew in from across the country. So? They'll understand. This is a baby we're talking about. Your wedding can happen any time. We've been planning this for 18 months. And I've been growing a human for 9 months. My baby matters more than your party. Her words stung like a slap. My wedding isn't a party, Jess. It's one day. You'll have a whole marriage. But I only get one first birth, and Mom will never forgive you if she misses it because she's at your wedding. I stood up, pacing the small suite, my heart pounding. You told me it would be fine. You promised. 3 months ago when I asked if we should change the date, you said. That was before I understood how close it would be. Look, I'm trying to be reasonable here. I'm giving you warning. I'm not in active labor yet. You still have time to make calls. Jessica, I can't cancel my wedding 3 hours before it starts. Why are you being so selfish? Her voice rose. This is typical you. Always thinking about yourself. Mom's right, you never consider anyone else's needs. The accusation hung in the air between us, familiar and cutting. Because this was the script we'd been following our entire lives, Jessica needed something, and I was selfish if I didn't immediately provide it. Let me talk to Marcus, I said, my voice shaking. I need to think. There's nothing to think about. Either you postpone, or you accept that no family will be at your wedding. Mom already said she's not coming if there's even a chance I go into labor. She said what? She's not coming. Dad's not coming. Aunt Linda, Uncle James, the cousins, nobody's coming. We're all staying close to the hospital. So you can have your wedding with no family, or you can be a good sister and postpone. I felt like the floor was tilting beneath me. You're asking me to cancel my wedding because you might go into labor? I'm not asking, Natalie. I'm telling you what's happening. The family has made their choice. Now you need to make yours. She hung up. I stood there, phone in my hand, staring at nothing. Zoe was beside me in an instant. Nat? What happened? Jessica says I need to cancel the wedding, I whispered. She might be in labor. Mom says the family won't come if there's a chance they'll miss the birth. Zoe's face went through several expressions: shock, anger, disbelief. She's asking you to cancel your wedding the morning of? Not asking. Telling. That's insane. Nat, you can't actually be considering this. But I was. Because this was what I did. What I'd always done. Jessica needed something, Mom backed her up, and I bent myself into whatever shape was required to keep the peace. My phone buzzed. Mom, this time. Jessica told me she called you. I hope you're doing the right thing. This baby is the most important thing in the world to this family. Your sister needs us. I read it twice, looking for the part where she acknowledged that I might need them too. That my wedding might matter. That I might be important. It wasn't there. Another text. Dad. Your mother is very upset. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. We'll celebrate your marriage another time. Another time. Like it was a dinner reservation we could simply reschedule. I called Marcus. He answered immediately, his voice warm and excited. Hey, future wife. How's it going over there? Marcus, we have a problem. I explained everything: Jessica's contractions, Mom's ultimatum, the family's refusal to come. When I finished, there was a long silence. So let me get this straight, Marcus finally said, his voice carefully controlled. Your sister, who has known for 9 months that her due date was our wedding day, who told you multiple times not to change the date, is now demanding we cancel our wedding because she might go into labor? Yes. And your mother is supporting this? Yes. Another silence. Then, Natalie, I love you. I will marry you any day, anytime, anywhere. But I need you to hear me very clearly: this is insane. This is manipulative. And if we cancel our wedding right now, 3 hours before it starts, we're setting a precedent that your family can hold us hostage any time they want. I know, but... There's no but. Your sister had 9 months to plan around this. She chose not to. That's not your emergency. But what if she really goes into labor? What if something goes wrong and I wasn't there because I was at my wedding? Then she'll be surrounded by excellent medical professionals and your parents. You don't have to be there for every major life event of hers. You're allowed to have your own life. Your own important moments. His words hit something deep in my chest, a truth I'd been avoiding my whole life. What do I do? I whispered. What do you want to do? I looked around the bridal suite. At my dress, hanging like a cloud of champagne silk. At the timeline carefully printed and posted on the wall: 10 o'clock, hair and makeup. 11:30, get dressed. 12:45, first look photos. 1 o'clock, ceremony. I'd dreamed about this day since I was a little girl. I'd spent 18 months planning every detail. Marcus and I had saved for years to afford this venue, this photographer, this moment. And my family wanted me to throw it all away for a hypothetical emergency. I want to get married, I said, my voice stronger. I want to marry you today, like we planned. Then that's what we're doing. His voice was firm, certain. I'll handle telling the coordinator about the situation with your family. You focus on getting ready. And Natalie? Yeah? I'm so proud of you. After we hung up, I looked at Zoe. I'm getting married today. She squeezed my hand. Damn right you are. But even as I said it, even as I tried to focus on hair and makeup and the 1,000 small details of getting ready, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Jessica, I can't believe you're choosing a party over your niece or nephew. Mom, you're breaking your father's heart. He's been looking forward to walking you down the aisle, but he can't miss his first grandchild's birth. Aunt Linda, very disappointed in your selfishness, Natalie. Family should come first. Cousin Rachel, wow. Didn't realize you were such a bridezilla. Each message was a small cut, a tiny wound that together added up to something bleeding and raw. Stop reading them, Zoe said, watching my face. Give me your phone. I can't, I need to. You need to get ready for your wedding. Whatever they're saying can wait. She was right. I handed her my phone and tried to focus on the makeup artist blending foundation, on the hairstylist pinning roses into my waves. But my mind kept spinning. Was I being selfish? Was I really choosing a party over family? What kind of person got married while her sister might be in labor? At 11:30, I put on my dress. The silk slid over my skin like water, the deep V-neck elegant and daring in a way that made me feel beautiful and powerful. Zoe zipped me up, then stepped back. Nat, you look incredible. I looked at myself in the mirror. The dress fit perfectly. My hair and makeup were flawless. I looked exactly like I'd imagined. But my eyes were sad. There was a knock at the door. The wedding coordinator, Melissa, poked her head in. Natalie? Your fiancé asked me to check in. How are we doing? I'm okay, I lied. She came fully into the room, her expression sympathetic. Marcus told me about the situation with your family. I'm so sorry. That's incredibly difficult. Has anyone from my family shown up? I asked, even though I knew the answer. Not yet. But we still have time. I nodded, swallowing hard. Natalie, Melissa said gently. I've been doing weddings for 15 years. I've seen families do incredibly hurtful things. But I've also seen brides choose themselves, choose their joy, choose their partner. And I've never once seen someone regret that choice. What if I'm wrong? I whispered. What if Jessica really needs me? Then she'll call 911 and go to the hospital, and medical professionals will take excellent care of her. Her emergency doesn't have to be your emergency. You're allowed to have your wedding day. At noon, Melissa returned. Natalie, I need to tell you something. My heart sank. What? One of your bridesmaids just showed me something on Instagram. She held out her phone. It was Jessica's account. Posted 20 minutes ago. A photo of Jessica at a restaurant patio, a mimosa flight in front of her, Mom and Aunt Linda on either side. All of them smiling. The caption read, Sunday fun day with my favorite ladies. Baby's taking their sweet time, so we're enjoying one last brunch before they arrive. 2 hearts. I stared at the photo. At the mimosas. At the casual, happy faces. She's not in labor, I said flatly. No, Melissa said. She's not. The truth crashed over me like a wave. This wasn't about contractions or babies or emergencies. This was about control. About making sure that even on my wedding day, I knew where I ranked in the family hierarchy. Second. Always second. My hand started shaking. With rage, with grief, with something finally breaking free inside me. Show me the guests, I said. Melissa looked confused. What? Show me who's here. I want to see. We walked to the edge of the balcony overlooking the main space. Below, 147 guests were seated in neat rows, talking and laughing, the string lights glowing soft and golden above them. Marcus's family. My friends. Colleagues. People who'd traveled across the country to be here. People who'd shown up. And in the back, 3 empty rows. Reserved for my family. All those empty chairs, a visible testament to their choice. I turned to Melissa. Remove the reserved signs from those rows. Offer them to any guests who want to spread out. Are you sure? I'm sure. My voice didn't shake. They chose not to be here. I'm not holding space for people who didn't choose me. Melissa nodded, respect in her eyes. Okay. We'll take care of it. Are you ready for first look photos? I looked down at Marcus, waiting in the courtyard with our photographer, nervously adjusting his tie. This man who'd spent 18 months planning this day with me. Who'd held me through every moment of family drama. Who'd never once made me feel like I was second choice. Yes, I said. I'm ready. The first look was perfect. Marcus turned around, saw me, and his face crumpled with emotion. Natalie, he breathed. You're so beautiful. Your family didn't come, I said, needing him to know. I know. Melissa told me. He took my hands. I'm sorry. I'm not. And as I said it, I realized it was true. I'm not sorry. Because everyone who matters is here. He kissed me softly. Let's get married. The ceremony started at 1 p.m. exactly as planned. I walked down the aisle to La Vie en Rose, played on a string quartet. Not with my father, he'd chosen to wait by his phone for news of a baby that wasn't coming, but with Zoe on one side and my college roommate Hannah on the other. My people. Marcus was crying before I was halfway down the aisle. When I reached him, he whispered, "You're here." I'm here, I confirmed. I chose to be here. And I had. For the first time in my life, I'd chosen myself. The ceremony was beautiful. Perfect. Everything I'd dreamed of. Marcus's vows made everyone cry. Mine made him laugh and sob at the same time. When we kissed, the room erupted in applause. And I didn't think about the empty rows once. The reception was a blur of joy, dancing, speeches, cake cutting, the golden light through the warehouse windows turning everything magical. Marcus spun me around the dance floor during our first dance, both of us grinning like idiots. We did it, I laughed. We're married. Best decision I ever made, he said, pulling me closer. At 7 p.m., during dinner, my phone, which Zoe had been holding for me, started buzzing incessantly. Should I look? Zoe asked. No, I said. Not until after the cake. But at 8:30, as we were cutting into the 3-tier lemon lavender masterpiece, Zoe pulled me aside. Nat, I think you need to see this. Her face was serious. Worried. She handed me my phone. 63 text messages. 21 missed calls. Dozens of notifications. I opened the messages. Jessica, baby's here. Born at 6:47 p.m. 7 pounds 3 ounces. You missed it. Mom, your sister needed you and you chose a party. I hope you're happy. Dad, you've disappointed the entire family today. But then I scrolled further and saw messages from my cousins. People who'd supposedly boycotted my wedding in solidarity with Jessica. Cousin Rachel, congrats on the baby, Jess. So glad we could all be there for the birth. Aunt Linda, perfect timing. So glad I didn't miss this for a wedding. Uncle James, beautiful baby girl. Worth skipping Natalie's thing for sure. My hands went numb. They'd all been there. At the hospital. Together. There had never been any question about Jessica going into labor during the ceremony. She'd been induced. It was planned. They'd planned to make me choose. Planned to ensure I'd either cancel my wedding or get married knowing my entire family was together somewhere else, celebrating something they deemed more important than me. Nat? Zoe's voice was far away. Are you okay? I looked up at her, then out at the reception. At Marcus talking with his grandmother. At our friends dancing. At the life we were building. I'm better than okay, I said slowly. Because I finally see it. See what? That this was never about the baby. Or the wedding. It was about making sure I knew my place. Second. Always second. I handed the phone back to Zoe. I don't want this anymore. Don't want what? To be second. To be the one who bends. To be the one who sacrifices everything and gets nothing in return. I walked back to Marcus. He saw my face and immediately stood. What happened? Jessica had the baby. She was induced at 6:47. My whole family was there, together, exactly like they planned. His jaw tightened. Nat, I'm so. Don't be sorry. I took his hands. Dance with me. Are you sure? I'm sure. Because I chose right. I chose us. And I'd choose us 1,000 more times. We danced until midnight. We laughed with friends. We ate too much cake and drank too much champagne, and I didn't check my phone once. When we finally got to our hotel room, the honeymoon suite at the Heathman, I collapsed on the bed in my dress, exhausted and exhilarated. Marcus lay down beside me. How are you feeling? Free, I said, and I meant it. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. I almost ignored it, but something made me look. Jessica, I can't believe you didn't even call to congratulate me. You're the worst sister ever. Something inside me snapped, not broke, but shifted into place, like a bone setting after being misaligned for years. I opened a new message and started typing. Jessica, I'm sorry you felt I should have been at the hospital today. But I got married. It was a day I'd been planning for 18 months. You knew that. You've known your due date for 9 months. You chose to schedule an induction on my wedding day, and you chose to demand I cancel. I chose not to. I chose my wedding, my husband, and my happiness. I wish you'd chosen to support me instead of making me an enemy. But that was your choice, not mine. Congratulations on your baby. I hope she brings you joy. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. The response came immediately. How dare you? I was in labor. You're selfish and cruel, and Mom is right about you. I took a deep breath and typed another message. This one to the family group chat. To everyone who chose not to attend my wedding today, I understand you made the choice you felt was right. But I need you to understand something too. I got married today. It was the most beautiful, joyful, perfect day of my life. I'm married to an incredible man who loves me and chooses me every single day. And I refuse to feel guilty about that. I refuse to apologize for having my own life, my own priorities, my own important moments. I wish you'd been there. But I'm not going to beg for your presence or your approval anymore. I hope Jessica's baby is healthy and beautiful. But I'm done being second. I'm done sacrificing my happiness for yours. I love you all. But I love myself and my husband more. I left the group chat before anyone could respond. Then I blocked Jessica's number. Then Mom's. Then Dad's. Marcus watched me, his expression somewhere between proud and worried. Are you sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. We spent our honeymoon in Hawaii, exactly as planned. No interruptions. No guilt trips. No texts demanding I drop everything to accommodate someone else's needs. Just us. When we got back 2 weeks later, there was a letter waiting at our apartment. From my mother. I almost threw it away. But curiosity won. Natalie. Your father and I have been discussing your behavior, and we've decided we need some time apart. Your actions on your wedding day were hurtful and selfish. Jessica needed her family, and you abandoned her in her most vulnerable moment. Until you apologize to your sister and acknowledge the pain you've caused, we think it's best if we limit contact. We hope you'll come to your senses soon. Mom. I read it twice, waiting for the guilt to come. The panic. The desperate need to fix things. It didn't come. Instead, I felt lighter. Like I'd been carrying a weight I didn't know I had, and someone had finally lifted it off my shoulders. They've decided to limit contact until I apologize, I told Marcus. How do you feel about that? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Relieved, I said finally. Is that terrible? No. He pulled me close. It's healthy. That night, I drafted an email. Not an apology, a boundary. Mom and Dad. I received your letter. I understand you're disappointed in me. But I need you to understand something. I will not apologize for getting married on my wedding day. For my entire life, I've made myself smaller to make Jessica feel bigger. I've canceled plans, rearranged my life, sacrificed my needs to accommodate hers. And I'm done. I love my sister. I'm happy she has a healthy baby. But her joy doesn't require my suffering. Her important moments don't negate mine. You asked me to cancel my wedding 3 hours before it started. Not postpone, cancel. Forfeit deposits, disappoint 150 guests, humiliate myself and Marcus. And when I refused, you punished me by staying away. But here's what I realized: by choosing not to come, you showed me exactly where I stand. And I'm grateful for that clarity. I'm done fighting for scraps of your approval. Done begging to be seen. Done apologizing for taking up space. If you want a relationship with me, it will be on equal terms. I'm not the family servant anymore. I'm not the backup daughter. I'm not the one who bends until she breaks. I'm a wife now. Soon, I might be a mother. And I refuse to teach my future children that love means accepting mistreatment. When you're ready to treat me with respect, not just tolerate me when I'm useful, I'll be here. But until then, I'm choosing peace. I hope someday you'll understand. Natalie. I sent it before I could overthink. The responses came within an hour. Dad, you're throwing away your family over pride. Mom, don't expect us to attend future events if this is how you treat us. Jessica, you're dead to me. I read them all, feeling strangely calm. Then I archived the entire conversation and turned off notifications. Done? Marcus asked. Done, I confirmed. 3 months later, I found out I was pregnant. I didn't tell them. 6 months after that, my son was born, a healthy, perfect baby boy with Marcus's dark curls and my smile. I didn't tell them that either. Because they'd made their choice, and I'd made mine. And for the first time in my life, I'd chosen right. A year after our wedding, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Natalie? It's Aunt Linda. I heard about the baby. Congratulations. I wanted to reach out because I think I owe you an apology. I stared at the message for a long time before responding. Thank you. But why now? Because I saw how your mother treated you after the wedding. How Jessica talks about you. And I realized I was part of the problem. I'm sorry. You deserved better from all of us. Thank you for saying that. It means more than you know. Would you like to meet for coffee sometime? No pressure. Just. I'd like to know my great-nephew. If you're open to it. I thought about it for a long time. About boundaries and second chances and the difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. Maybe. Let me think about it. Of course. Take all the time you need. I never did meet her for coffee. Not because I was angry, but because I'd built a life I loved. Marcus, our son, friends who showed up, in-laws who treated me like I mattered. I didn't need to go back to people who'd only valued me when I made myself small. Sometimes, at night, I wondered if I'd made the right choice. If I was too harsh. Too unforgiving. But then I'd look at Marcus sleeping beside me, at our son in his crib, at the life we'd built free from toxic expectations and conditional love. And I knew. I'd chosen perfectly. My wedding day had been a test I didn't know I was taking. And I'd passed, not by making everyone happy, but by finally choosing myself. Jessica never apologized. Neither did my parents. And honestly, I didn't need them to anymore. Because I'd learned the most important lesson of my life. You can't convince people to value you. You can only decide whether to value yourself. And I did. Finally, completely, unapologetically. I valued myself enough to get married on my wedding day. I valued myself enough to set boundaries. I valued myself enough to walk away from people who only loved me when I was useful. And that choice, that simple, terrifying, revolutionary choice, changed everything. On our second anniversary, Marcus and I renewed our vows in our backyard with just our closest friends. Our son toddles between the chairs, and I thought about how different this felt from our actual wedding day. No drama. No ultimatums. No empty rows. Just love. Pure, uncomplicated, freely given. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Torres, Marcus whispered as we danced in the grass. Happy anniversary, I said back, meaning it with every fiber of my being. Because I'd married him twice now, once despite my family's absence, and once because of my chosen family's presence. And both times, I'd chosen right. That night, as we put our son to bed, my phone buzzed with a notification. An email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line read, "From your sister." My hand hovered over it for a long moment. Then I deleted it without opening it. Because whatever she had to say, it didn't matter anymore. I'd already found everything I needed. And it had been here, in this life I'd built, all along. Some stories end with reconciliation and forgiveness and families coming back together. This isn't one of those stories. This is a story about a woman who chose herself when no one else would. Who got married on her wedding day despite being told she was selfish for it. Who set boundaries and kept them, even when it cost her the only family she'd ever known. Who built a new family, chosen, cherished, whole. And lived happily ever after anyway. Because sometimes, the happy ending isn't about fixing what's broken. Sometimes, it's about having the courage to walk away from people who keep breaking you. And building something better in the space they left behind. My name is Natalie Torres. I got married on my wedding day. And I'd do it again. Every single time.